Hey, I'm officially going live. Wanted to get you set up for today's topic, which is all about building a coaching and consulting business to replace your six-figure income, really giving you that financial and time freedom that you might be looking for. So I will let this here kind of more behind the scenes, and then what we'll do Hey, we are back. I'm excited to be here. Welcome, everyone. This is Jena Vargas, and you're listening to the latest episode of the Dr. Jena Vargas podcast, the show that's all about helping future business owners and job seekers succeed. So, today we'll be diving into the world of virtual coaching and consulting and really discussing how you can replace your six-figure income by becoming a successful virtual coach or consultant or both. I would love to hear from you in the comments section as far as where you are watching live from. So I'm here in Tampa, Florida, to give you some context. Super excited to be here and be with you all, and love to hear from you, whether that's in the comments section or if you want to come on live, if you're feeling really courageous today. I'd love to eventually have some people on outside of just doing like a networking session. It would be so cool to be able to have that conversation with you, get to know you, and really have more context and live interaction. So today we're going to be diving again into how to replace your six-figure income, really transitioning from corporate, escaping the 9 to 5 grind, as we call it. So if you're someone who's interested in really taking control of your career and working for yourself, this was me a few years back, then this episode is going to be for you. So I'll be sharing some insights and tips on how to get started, how to build your brand, and grow your virtual coaching and consulting business. So let's get started. What I was hoping to do, I'm going to put this on the screen here. Any questions, feel free to put them in the comments. I'm so excited to be here, be just part of your journey. Whether you take some nuggets from this and you learn, that is all we can ask for, right? That small transformation day by day, taking it slowly is so important. All right. I'm loving the intro and the countdown timer on Streamyard. So cool. So first things first, let's dive into virtual coaching consulting. Simply put, virtual coaching consulting is when you provide professional services to clients via your computer, and this can literally be done anywhere. This can include anything from marketing and advertising, coaching to training, etc. So a lot of times these individuals may start simply with a service and then eventually transition to what I call is productized, I think is the right word, how you pronounce it. So it's figuring out how do we package up your products, digital services, or digital products and services so that it's consumed by the audience, right? So one of the biggest benefits of this type of virtual business is that you have the ability to work from anywhere. You literally need Wi-Fi and a laptop. Maybe a cell phone is going to be helpful, right? So you can work from anywhere in the world, which is so exciting when you're looking for that financial and time freedom. You can set your own hours, work with clients who really align with your values, and most importantly, make a six-figure income and beyond. So I want to drop in here so you can kind of follow along. There's going to be about 5 segments that we're going to be going through, but this way you can stay kind of focused, maybe get out a pen and paper and kind of jot down some notes here as we go. So the first thing is laying the foundation for a successful virtual coaching and consulting business. So when I started my virtual coaching consulting journey in 2015, I was unsure of the path to really take before starting out and building. So I really had to look at the demand and the traction for what I had to offer. I was thinking, what was I really good at in corporate? What were those common themes throughout all of my jobs and positions in my career that I really naturally gravitated to? So I started with what I knew on the business to business, we call it B2B side, and offered hourly recruiting services, which then turned into, I was like, let's get a little smarter with long-term profitability, sustainability, and kind of lock in clients on the B2B side. These could be small, medium, large, even startup organizations where they probably a little less of the large, but like the startup, small and medium they don't maybe have the budget for a lot of overhead. They really would like to outsource, which is where the economy is going with this, the freelance work, et cetera, for that sense of autonomy, but also companies don't have to worry about the overhead as much if they can have you hired for certain projects and activities, and then we transition on. So when I then transitioned from the hourly recruiting services, I got a little smarter about retained hourly per week and month with a term. So I thought of it this way: if I can lock them in for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, this is going to be so helpful so that I can know and forecast what income is going to come, right? There's nothing like the stability of a paycheck or a direct deposit, and benefits are great. But what can we do on the business side when you have your own business to create that forecasting, profitability, sustainability, and et cetera, right? So I started my business in the B2B side from 2015 to about 2022. And then I transitioned and added, it's not even a transition, I added an income stream, which is a B2C, business to consumer, to my offering packages. So this is like job search strategy and coaching, personal branding. Some people call this like career coaching, et cetera, which really was encompassing. Even just a few months before the pandemic, people were coming to me, really understanding the value and ROI on personal branding, right? And that they were not getting the calls, the interviews, the offers and opportunities, and they were kind of stuck. So I was adding this as an additional income stream. So through trial and error, I really discovered the essential foundations for success. So I'm going to pause here a moment before we get into how you get started as a virtual coach or consultant. Would love to hear from you. Is any of this resonating with you? Any questions, feedback, etc.? If you can, hey Tammy, thanks for joining us. If you can drop in the comments where you're watching live from, and if this is resonating with you, you could say, heck yes, that would be great. So the first step is to determine your niche, right? What is that target audience that you're going to be focused on, and what is their pain points or challenges? So this means figuring out, thinking again, like I said, what skills and expertise do you have to offer to clients or customers? So it's important to choose a niche that you're really passionate about, you're energized about, and that really has a high demand in the market. So thinking about, when I'm thinking about my niche, I always recommend, especially with my current VBA client, is all about exploring, do we want to start out with the B2B side, business to business, or B2C, business to consumer? So that's, you're kind of exploring those target client opportunities. To me, I feel like it's probably a good idea to start out, if you can, through your network and 6 degrees of separation, right? And figuring out, what have I done in corporate? This is going to be what we build out as your financial runway, right? So I'd recommend you start with one avenue. And it's a fairly large undertaking if we focus on B2B and B2C. The more focused and prioritizing we can get on what is our one target audience, we can kind of solve their problem more quickly. And then once you kind of get that wheelhouse going, you can add an additional revenue stream, target, etc. That's kind of all hand in hand. So once you have your niche or niche, develop your coaching consulting program, products, and or services. And a lot of this happens really organically, which is nice. You don't have to force it. It'll happen over time, and people will start coming to you based on what you're putting out on social media, the conversations that you're having through networking, etc. So you want to outline those key milestones and what is the end goal? Is that a revenue? Is that number of clients and accounts, etc.? And then reverse engineer that. I'm learning in personal and professional life, just like with my maternity leave, kind of reverse engineering this, right? So you really want to help your clients achieve and create a structured plan to guide them forward through that transformation. And finally, pricing your services competitively, taking into account the value you provide and your target audience's budget. You may want to also shop around and see what are other people charging out there doing similar work to yours, and having kind of meet and greets and open conversation. The second piece I wanted to go through with you is all about attracting high paying clients consistently. Initially, this may be, we may not go specifically for a high target, but this is kind of the direction that is going to help you save time, but generate more income based on the value that you're providing. So now that you have a solid foundation, let's discuss attracting the client. So start by really building a strong network. I'd encourage you to set a target of how many people you want to reach out to each week, each month, etc. Use Calendly or some sort of automated software or system that's a SaaS tool to really pre-schedule and block those on your calendar, or certain days as like a theme day. So attend maybe industry events, conferences, and workshops to meet potential clients and collaborators. And then additionally, you can leverage the power of social media and content marketing to showcase your expertise and engage with your target audience. Because after all, referrals is going to be great, networking is going to be great, but the know, like, and trust, for especially when it's somebody that has never met you in person, it's going to be so valuable for you to really share your experience, connect, add some vulnerability and authenticity. You might even want to offer free consultations. That's something I do right now, as far as like a 20-minute discovery call or 25-minute, depending on the client service, or maybe a webinar to provide value and establish credibility. So this is where I use Streamyard to really broadcast and share with others across different platforms. It's a one-stop shop, and then it distributes across different platforms. So this will give potential clients a taste of what you can offer and increase the likelihood of them signing up for your paid services. Again, it's all about nurturing, connecting, engaging, etc. And then lastly, asking for referrals. I hear this is by far a fantastic way to engage with future clients when you have a satisfied client and you're looking to grow your clientele organically. So I find that that's so helpful, just kind of having some of those best practices for you to run with. The third piece is building a strong online presence and personal brand. So this is where definitely in my recruiting years over the last 15 to 17 years, and then more recently building out personal brands, your online presence is critical in attracting clients and establishing your personal brand. So whether you are starting a business and building like lead generation and pipelining, or even just trying to attract recruiters and hiring managers, it's so critical to have that online presence and personal brand. We want to start by creating a professional website that highlights your services, expertise, client testimonials. This is more for starting your own business, and ensure your website is easy to navigate and optimize for search engines. There's even a section on your LinkedIn profile for testimonials. These could be people you've worked with in the past, supervisors, peers. This could be maybe you went to school, got your MBA, and you have other students or professors. You could totally add them there as well. This topic also includes really evolving into marketing materials that really showcase who you are, what you do, what you're passionate about, and how you're going to add value. So your brand should really be clear, concise, and communicate your unique selling proposition. So if you can really think about this as harnessing the power of social media platforms, I love LinkedIn is where all of my people hang out, but I also do check out and browse sometimes on like Facebook, Instagram to engage with an audience, as well as sharing valuable content and showcasing your personality. Did want to take a quick look. Thank you. Thank you for hopping on, Nicole. Yes, love the one target audience. Absolutely. Because sometimes we can get totally overwhelmed. And that is not what we want to feel these days. All right. So let's take a look as far as we want to consistently create and share content that resonates with our target audience. Again, keeping in mind, this could be everything from repurposing other people in the industry, their content, sharing it. As far as repurposing comes when you have like a blog post, a podcast, and have videos. The cool thing about Streamyard is you can repurpose a lot of these videos into reels, shorts, and stories. So you could literally take the initial recording for the podcast like we're doing now, and then repurpose and distribute it in other channels. So I did create like a nice visual on Canva because a lot of times it can be overwhelming. Like, where do I start? How do I distribute it? It just gets so overwhelming and time consuming. I know because I've worked on this for years and I'm finally wrapping my arms and my head around this. So this will help you position yourself as an expert in your niche. The fourth piece that I wanted to run through was all about making more money by charging what you're worth. This is so valuable because a lot of times when we're exchanging our dollars for services or products, etc., we want to make sure that we're maximizing. And I've learned, because I feel like I'm in the crunch when it comes to the countdown with the baby and all of this and that. That first I have to stay focused, and secondly, I need as much time that I can have to create, so I can create in advance, whether it's digital courses, the virtual business accelerator modules, and the program, so that I have something to lean on when I'm, God willing, on my 90-day, which is 12-week maternity leave, right? So in this section, I want to talk a little bit about the importance of an important aspect of your business is setting your rate. So you want to make sure you're charging what you're worth, but also staying competitive in the market. So like we talked about initially, researching your competitors and determining what they're charging for similar services will kind of get your mind turning of how you can package up or build the structure for your pricing. So I'd highly recommend structuring by packages, by project, or retained hours, and knowing how long that contract is. Is it 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, etc., versus an hourly rate? You're going to get burnt. Most likely you will get burnt out like I did, and then realize we need to get smarter with our time and smarter with our packaging and how much our time is to the value that we're providing, whether it's a client or customer. It'll save you the time and headache in the long run, for sure. I'm going to take a pause. Would love to know where everybody's watching live from, as well as, or even if it's the recording, where you're watching from. And then what is resonating with you so far? I know we've gone through a number of things so far, such as we talked about how do we get started with a virtual coaching consulting business, laying the foundations to be successful for profitability and sustainability, attracting high paying clients consistently, and like building those leads and networking, and then building a strong online presence and personal brand. And then most recently, talking about how do we set our pricing. If you have any questions there, that's really where a lot of people get hung up, because if we are leaving money on the table and we're undervaluing and not that we're underserving our clients, but we want to make sure that we also are not just getting by ourselves and just paying our bills, that we actually have a business, a strategic business plan and a business model that's going to support us throughout different seasons. And this can evolve, but something to keep in mind. Thank you for chiming in. You are in Arizona. Thank you, Nicole. And then the last thing I wanted to run through with you is all about maybe even scaling your business and creating multiple streams of income. Maybe you're just looking for a lifestyle business. Totally respect it. Totally get it. Been there and I am there. But I also know creating multiple streams of income can also help. So whether you have this as a side hustle or going full time, we always want to make sure we don't just have one We don't put all our eggs in one basket, right? That we diversify, because as you know, if you've ever been laid off, if that's your one stream of income, corporate income, etc., and you get laid off, and I know from my own experience being laid off with severance multiple times, it's so valuable and important to make sure we have a backup plan, especially if you are a contributor in the financial side in your household or the breadwinner. It can be very overwhelming to be like, oh my gosh, now what? And you're literally starting from scratch. So some things to just keep in mind as well. As far as this goes, once you have a steady flow of clients, and you kind of, networking is always going to be so critical and ongoing. It's not just like, hey, it's a revenue generating activity and now we're done, right? So you want to explore multiple ways to generate income. One is maybe creating digital products such as ebooks, online courses, membership sites, giving you that passive income, also expanding your reach. And then you may want to consider building out a team and partnering with coaches to manage your growing client base. So maybe attending workshops, investing in personal development and networking, just to stay on top of industry trends. So as you know, I faced many challenges on my journey as well. So becoming a successful virtual coaching consultant. One major obstacle is overcoming self-doubt and imposter syndrome. And I really combated this with consistently investing in my personal and professional growth. And I have to remind myself this on a regular basis, really surrounding myself with supportive mentors and celebrating my success along the way. That is so important, celebrating the small wins. Another challenge has been finding the right marketing strategies for my business. Through trial and error, I discovered the power of content marketing, networking, like I said, email marketing, social media marketing management. Marketing and sales in and of itself is two big beasts that you really want to get under control and figure out the best processes, systems, and automation, and maybe delegating and outsourcing. So as you start to gain clients, it's important to establish those clear boundaries and processes. This means maybe setting agreements, what we also call as expectations, but agreements are really being aligned on what is going to be the outcome and when is the due date, outlining your scope of work, and really communicating your policies around communication, revisions, and deadlines. And finally, to grow your virtual consulting business, you want to continue really making those six-figure plus income. You need to be consistently providing value to your clients. This means staying up to date on industry trends, continuously learning, and growing your skills. And there you have it. Today, we've learned the foundation of building a thriving virtual coaching and consulting business, including identifying your niche, attracting high-paying clients, creating a strong online presence and personal brand, and scaling your business for continued growth. So now it's time to put all this knowledge into action. Remember, the key to success is it really lies in commitment, consistency, and willingness to learn and adapt. So embrace the journey and be open to new experiences, and you'll find that your virtual business will flourish. So to wrap things up, here's an inspirational quote that I love that perfectly encapsulates today's episode. So here it goes. Success is not failure. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. This is by Winston Churchill. So keep pushing forward, stay curious, and never stop learning. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Dr. Jena Vargas podcast. I hope you found it educational, fun, inspirational, and really giving you some insights and best practices. If you enjoyed the show, please be sure to subscribe and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Don't forget to share this episode with your fellow aspiring virtual coaches and consultants looking to transition. I'm going to drop a quick note as well in the comments. If you're watching this live, you can apply and schedule a 25-minute discovery chat. Check it out on Calendly. Very good. I will drop that here. And then did want to also drop that in the comments. And until next time, remember to stay focused, stay motivated, and most importantly, enjoy the journey to becoming a successful virtual coach and consultant. Take care, and I'll see you in the next episode.